Tonight's other top story. Earlier this month, we introduced you to a very special 12-year-old. The 7th grader so passionate about law enforcement, he calls himself a state trooper in training. He actually patrols his West Warwick community every day on his own bike. Now today, his dreams came true. ABC6 News reporter Dominique Turner brings us those details. Jensen's story made it all the way to North Scituate to Rhode Island State Police Barracks. Saturday, state troopers made Jensen's dream come true, bringing him to headquarters where he met troopers, sat in a cruiser, and got a tour of the facilities. Jensen even got some gear to take home. Earlier this month, we caught up with 12-year-old Jensen Smeagol, a West Warwick kid with big dreams. The 7th grader has always wanted to be a police officer, but for the time being, patrols his neighborhood on his bike, working to keep his community safe.
It was just constant news on Facebook about me.
Saturday, those dreams became reality, with his story getting the attention of Rhode Island state troopers. Smeagol was invited to headquarters for a day full of surprises.
When you're out there on patrol, okay, I want you to be able to document, because this is the most important part of law enforcement. Writing reports, documentation.
With the help of Captain Kenneth Jones, Jensen and his family toured headquarters, met troopers, canines, and heard from Rhode Island's finest on what it's like to be part of the agency.
They're pretty crazy. I mean, I was just bouncing around all over the place.
Smeagol patrols his West Warwick neighborhood daily with his radar gun in hand, cuffs on his hip, and a state trooper's cap on his head. Jensen's mother, Carrie Bathgate, told ABC6 she wasn't sure if her son's dream of being in law enforcement would ever come true, as Jensen has a mild form of autism. Bathgate says since Smeagol put on his uniform, he's come into his own, flourishing and becoming more confident both on patrol and in his everyday life.
Let's see. Oh, good, buddy. How's that?
But Saturday, he was gifted his very own trooper hat, a badge, and even a notepad to use when ticketing offenders in his neighborhood. His favorite part of the day?
Probably getting to go into one of their cruisers, just get to sit in it. Yeah.
Jensen's final message to the troopers that he aspires to soon become.
Just keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing great at it.
In North Scituate, Dominique Turner, ABC6 News.